Rachel Lowe Lambert Lloyd Mellon, often known as Bunny Mellon, was an American horticulturalist, gardener, philanthropist, and art collector. She designed and planted a number of significant gardens, including the White House Rose Garden, and assembled one of the largest collections of rare horticultural books. Mellon was the second wife of philanthropist and horse breeder Paul Mellon. Background: Rachel Lowe Lambert, nicknamed Bunny by her mother, was the eldest child of Gerard Barnes Lambert, president of the Gillette Safety Razor Company and a founder of Warner Lambert, and his wife, Rachel Parker Lambert. Her paternal grandfather, chemist Jordan Lambert, was the inventor of Listerine, which was later marketed by her father. She had two siblings, Gerard Barnes Lambert, Jr., who died in a 1947 plane crash, and Lily McCarthy. During her childhood, Rachel Lambert attended Miss Fanny unregistered trademark S School, Princeton, New Jersey and the Foxcroft School, Middleburg, Virginia. Her parents divorced in 1933, and both subsequently remarried, her mother in 1934 to her former brother-in-law, Dr. Malvern Bryan Clopton, and her father in 1936 to Grace Cleveland Lansing Mull, daughter of Henry Livingston Lansing. Lambert married Stacy Barcroft Lloyd, Jr. in Philadelphia in 1932. Lloyd served in the Office of Strategic Services during World War II. They divorced in 1948. They had two children, Stacy Barcroft Lloyd III, and Eliza Wynne Lloyd. Lambert and her husband became close friends of the banking heir and art collector Paul Mellon and his first wife, Mary Cornova, who died of an asthma attack in 1946. After she divorced Lloyd, Paul and Bunny were married on May 1, 1948. By this marriage, she became the stepmother of Timothy Mellon and Catherine Cornova Mellon. Together the couple collected and donated more than 1,000 works of art, mostly 18th and 19th century European paintings, to the National Gallery of Art and established the Yale Center for British Art. The couple bred and raced thoroughbred horses, including Sea Hero, winner of the 1993 Kentucky Derby. Mellon was long known for her maximal discretion and minimal public exposure. She offered only a handful of interviews to journalists in her lifetime. In a 1969 New York Times article with the Mellons, she proclaimed that nothing should be noticed. Although this remark was made in reference to garden design, it has frequently been taken to encapsulate her attitude toward personal privacy and lifestyle choices. Gardening career. Although she had no formal training, Mellon read widely in horticulture and made contributions to several landmark gardens. Her interests in gardening were first cultivated while watching Olmsted Brothers gardeners tend her family's New Jersey home. Mellon amassed a large collection of horticultural books and was regarded as an authority on American horticulture. Her work was strongly influenced by French gardeners André Copyright-Lenacher and Jean-Baptiste de la Quintanille. Mellon designed landscapes for many of the Mellons' properties, including the French-inspired gardens of their estate, Oak Spring Farms. A long-time friendship with the Kennedy family was initiated by a 1950s visit to Oak Spring Farms by Jacqueline Kennedy, whom Mellon later advised on fine arts and antiques during the Kennedy White House restoration. In 1961, President John F. Kennedy asked Mellon to redesign the White House Rose Garden. Mellon created a more open space for public ceremony and introducing American species of plants, as well as Magnolia Soulangina. She next began to work on the White House's East Garden, but her work was interrupted by Kennedy's assassination. After his funeral, for which Mellon arranged flowers, Lady Bird Johnson asked Mellon to resume her work on the White House grounds. After Jacqueline Kennedy left the White House, Mellon was asked to design landscapes for Kennedy's home in Martha's Vineyard, the John F. Kennedy Presidential Library, and River Farm, the headquarters of the American Horticultural Society. In France, Mellon created a landscape design for the home of Hubert de Givenchy and assisted with a restoration of the Potager du Roi in Versailles. Wealth and collections. Because most of her assets were invested in trusts, it is difficult to estimate Mellon's wealth, but her family and husband's fortune and fixed assets suggest she was exceptionally wealthy. She maintained homes in Antigua, Nantucket, and Oyster Harbors, Cape Cod, 2 apartments in Paris and a townhouse in New York City were recently sold. These properties were sold in the years preceding her death. Her main residence, Oak Spring Farms, a 4,000-acre estate in Virginia, has its own 1-mile-long airstrip for her Falcon 2000. Mellon gathered an extraordinary collection of works by artist Mark Rothko, having purchased many of his 1950s works directly from his New York studio. One of the works, Yellow Expanse, is considered one of the greatest Rothko works that remains in private hands. In the fall of 2014, Sotheby's will offer property from Mellon's estate, including more than $100 million worth of art, jewelry, furniture, and decorative objects. Proceeds from the sale will benefit the Gerard B. Lambert Foundation, a charitable entity established by Mellon in memory of her father. Honours: Officier de l'Ordre des Arts et des Lettres, the Royal Horticultural Society Unregistered Trademark S. The Veitch Memorial Medal, the Henry Shaw Award, American Horticultural Society Landscape Design Award. Later years: Mellon's husband, Paul, died in 1999, aged 91. Shortly thereafter, in May 2000, her daughter Eliza was hit by a truck while crossing a Manhattan street, causing a severe brain injury and full-body paralysis. Eliza spent the remaining 8 years of her life under round-the-clock care at Oak Spring Farms, and died in 2008. Caroline Kennedy, daughter of Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis, sat beside her during the funeral. Mellon was a longtime Democrat whose political views often conflicted with those of her husband. In 2004, she expressed interest in presidential candidate John Edwards because he reminded her of President Kennedy, but when she called his campaign office with an offer to help, her name was not recognized and the call went unreturned. She was an early financier of Edwards' 2008 Democratic primary run, offering an initial $1 million commitment to his campaign, and eventually contributing more than $3.5 million to organizations supporting his candidacy. At the request of campaign operative Andrew Young, the commitment morphed to include underwriting Edwards' personal expenses. Beginning in May 2007, Mellon contributed more than $725,000 to John Edwards' personal accounts over an 8-month period, writing checks disguised as furniture purchases. During this period Mellon wrote a note to Young stating, €A. F. From now on, all haircuts, etc. that are necessary and important for his campaign please send the bills to me. It is a way to help our friend without government restrictions The funds was secretly used to support Real Hunter, a campaign videographer with whom Edwards had an extramarital affair and child. When Mellon became aware of the use of her funds for this purpose, she reportedly came to regret the donations, but maintained that Edwards would have been a great president. While investigating Edwards, the Federal Bureau of Investigation interviewed Mellon at Oak Spring on 2 occasions in 2010. In December 2010, 4 of her relatives were subpoenaed to appear before a grand jury. On June 3, 2011, Edwards was indicted on using campaign funds to help cover up an affair and pregnancy during the 2008 presidential campaign. Just 1 week prior to his indictment, in late May 2011, Edwards visited Mellon at her Purville estate. Following his indictment, the judge forbade Edwards to speak with any potential witnesses. In 2010, it was revealed that she had lost $5.75 million to investment advisor and convicted Ponzi scheme operator Kenneth I. Starr. Death: although described as a resilient centenarian, stomach cancer and macular degeneration slowed her activity. She was forced to give up gardening by 2011, although she continued to swim, do pilots, and give the rare interview. On March 17, 2014, Mellon died at home after a 15-year battle with stomach cancer. She was 103 years old. Further reading: Abbott James A., and Elaine M. Rice. Designing Camelot, The Kennedy White House Restoration. Van Nostrand Reinhold, 1998. ISBN 0-442-02532-7. Raphael, Sandra, Haynes, Greg, Tomasi, Lucia Tungiorgi, and Willis, Tony. The Oak Spring Garden Library 4 vols. Yale University Press. 1989–2009. Langella, Frank. Dropped Names, Famous Men and Women as I Knew Them. HarperCollins, 2012. ISBN 9780062094483. External links, Oak Spring Garden Library Infosite. Accessed August 22, 2014. Grayson Jockey Club Research Foundation, Incorporated website. Accessed August 22, 2014. References